We meet again, good people. Welcome to my YouTube channel, The Diary Episode 2. Still on the topic, what is the weirdest thing that has ever happened to you? But before that, someone once asked me this question. Hami, did you go to a group of schools or a polling station? Anyway guys, never mind. The answer is in your heart. So, if you went to a group of schools, then maybe you will not relate to what I'm about to say today, because these are things that we who went to Misheveve Primary School can understand. So if you went to a group of schools, maybe you won't relate to this story, but you can still listen so that you can experience the fun we had in Misheveve Primary, Misheveve Secondary, you know? It was a fun life. Fun lifestyles, everyone had their own lifestyles mixed, you know. People who went to groups of schools, you won't understand because all of you are like, oh my god, you have money. Let me tell you, in Misheveve Primary, everyone, and I mean everyone, has their own lifestyle. Some of them, everyone, by the way, everyone was rich on their own, and everyone was, I can't say poor, but when it came to wealth, everyone was poor on their own ways. If you don't have the money to buy breakfast, then look for connections with the people in the kitchen, because first of all, I didn't study in one school, but none of the schools I went to were groups of schools, so we're still on track. So as the school where I already told you about the porridge story with the juice, that was just like this small. So we had these people who had connection with the cooks. So you would just sit, maybe that day we are eating sakotash, or let me just say in Kiswahili, sakotash. Anyway, githeri. For the Luo we say nyoyo. I mean, I can say it in many languages. Maengere, like yes, that is what I mean. So maybe it was that day, the worst day, like everyone hated that day. But there are some people who are fans of Githeri, by the way. Some people are just fans of Githeri. But personally, I didn't like Githeri, and I was not alone. Almost 80% of the students hated that day. So some of them, of course, we were not in town, like we were not raised in town. So our schools were not even in town. So like, being given money for lunch and you've been paid, like school fees has been paid so that you eat lunch in school, and you still have the guts to tell your parent to give you money to go buy food from outside school. You are joking. So you had to either stay hungry or just eat the githeri. The githeri sometimes just slapped, but I can't eat that githeri right now because it was not pleasing. Hata sahi mtu akikupa uangalie, you'll be like, did I eat this? But yeah, everyone had their own lifestyle. Lucky are those who had connections in the kitchen, because when they were serving for the teachers, yours would be served separately. So when others are online being served githeri with a plastic plate in a big sufuria, you would go to the kitchen with your plate, you're given some meat, cows, ugali, you know, balanced diet. But for us, like, let me not say us, but for those who did not have connection in the kitchen, you would just eat the githeri. You will survive with the githeri. Kwanza, there are some schools where githeri is the main meal, like you will eat it from Monday to Friday, and you are coming to school again maybe on Saturday, and then the teachers say, you know what, you can also pay for food on Saturday. Hey, our African parents only wanted to hear that. If you're going to eat at school, then okay, I'll pay. They don't know what you're going to eat. You're going to be given githeri. Oh my god, githeri just gives me, I don't know, I have PTSD or something, but then again, I was not in any of the categories. So, have you ever been taught with your parents? For those whose parents are teachers, you can understand my feeling. Okay, there are those whose parents are teachers, but they have never taught them. But have you ever been in the same school where your mother or your father is teaching? No, my mother is a teacher. So I've once gone to the school she was teaching. Let me tell you, it might seem fun, but okay, it has the good side and the bad sides, because there's some things you would have done in school where your parents are not seeing, and the case would just like fade, and your parent would have never known, like noise making, such issues. But when your parent is in that same school, you're going to the staff room for noise making, and I never missed in a noise making list. Hey, my classmates can tell you that every noise making list I was there, and I was very afraid of canes. I didn't like punishments, but I will always make noise, and I will always cry when the teacher on duty comes for me. But anyway, it's the past. Right now I can make noise anytime I want. Yeah, but I also learned that that's just part of life, You didn't even notice you were making noise. It doesn't make sense. I was just having fun. You're just living your age, living your whatever. So yeah. So let me tell you something. This time, I think I was in class 5. My mom was my CRE teacher. Now, when she first came in class, of course she wrote the date on the board, the CRE, the topic. Then she was like, "Honey, uko na pen?" I was like, "Doi, mbona umekula kalamu? What's going on?" So like, she is not noticing that she's actually like just focusing on me, and I was feeling it. I was feeling it because what's going on? No teacher can come to class and tell you, "Where is your pen? Why are you eating your pen?" Again, we are removing our books from our bags. "Did I buy you that book? Where did you get that book from?" I was like, "Okay, we exchanged. You exchanged a book. After this, follow me." My mom sometimes can be tough, especially in that school setup where she's like, "Don't call me mom, call me Madam Dina, call me teacher." Hey, that was. And then she was the exam teacher. Sometimes I don't know if you're supposed to learn because they are your parents and they're supposed to teach you, but there's this time she was collecting exam fees. For those who went to groups of schools, you won't understand that school fees is paid separately from exam fees. Exam fees is very separate. Of course, school fees is not that, it wasn't that much, but exam fee is again separate from school fees. And I knew perfectly that my mom is the exam teacher. She's the one who's collecting the money, so there's no need. She'll just stop. Let me tell you, she came to our class and called my name. Now my official name is Margaret Adwal. Step outside, you've not paid the exam money. And I was like, you're the one who's supposed to pay for that money. Like, I'm supposed to pay and you're the one collecting me, so why? And she was like, "Did you tell your parents? Did you tell your mom?" Because that was the most unfunny joke I've ever had. The people are laughing and the whole school was like, you saw Madam Dina? Imagine aliambia mtoto wake, ametoka mtoto wake class, anamwambia, akwambia mzazi wake alipe. So like, that was actually that my mom was trying to tell me that I will go to other places where she won't be there and I won't be responsible because I was not used to being responsible. So that was just teaching me how to be responsible. There was no punishment, of course, but yeah, lessons, like that is how African parents teach. They won't tell you be responsible. They'll just do an action so that you learn, "Oh, I'm supposed to be responsible." Hey, but it was amazing. When it came to, like, when you're going to now the school where your parent is teaching, when others now are going for Nyoyo, when others are going for Githeri, you go to the staff room. Those schools in Ushago, like when you're a teacher, how should I frame this? When your parent is a teacher, you're a mini teacher, So I would go to the staff room. My mom usually sat in her own office because she was an exam teacher, so she had her office. I would go there. I would serve the teacher's meal and go and eat from there. At 4, I would go for the teacher's porridge. Life was sweet. Life was, guys, if none of your parents is a teacher, or if your parents are teachers and you never went to the school they're teaching us, then you've missed a part. You've skipped something in your life because that life was fun. But again, I remembered something. Oh my god. Now there's this day, it's raining. Everyone is just playing outside and I'm like, okay, let me also go out. Actually, like I'm telling myself because it's natural and you're a child. So I just went out and started playing with the rain. Kumbe, Madam Dina was standing at the staff room. Then she saw me and she was like, Kuja, come. No, she waited until the rain now was over. She just looked at me and was like, yeah. Oh, like you just know, nimefanya makosa. So I went back to class. After the rain, I was called in the staff room. Unachezea mvua. Hizo bills za hospital, you're the one who's going to pay, right? Hey, that day I was caned in school. If you've never been caned, again, group of schools, you will never understand. So I was caned by my own mom, but like a teacher. Now she was like beating me as a teacher and as a mother. That was, I don't know, it wasn't embarrassing, but hey, those are things that you face when you go to a school where your parent is a teacher. But anyway, don't forget to tell me what you experienced in your schools if you did not go to groups of schools, because I've never been to one, so I don't know the stories that happen there unless you like someone else to share, so that I invite you in this channel so that you can share with other people. But that was my experience and many more. That was our life. I was not the only one whose parent was a teacher in that school. We also had some friends whose parents were teachers in the same school, and it was fun. Sometimes it was very fun, but sometimes you were like, what if she was not like in the same school as I am? I would have been in the noisemakers list and it would not have been a big deal, you know. You are like in school, you've just not done not a punishment, you had their duties. Again, something that other people will not relate to. Coming to school and sweeping the compound and picking rubbish and such stuff. Now when you come and you don't do your duty, like sweeping, maybe you've been given a certain corridor to like sweep and you haven't swept. You know, if you are just a normal student in a normal school, you know no one, it would just be a case of do this punishment and go finish what you are supposed to do. But when you are in the same school as your parent, you will go home and kidogo tu utasikia fagia sitting room, umeshindwa kufagia shule, hapa pia unataka kufagia, si ndio? Like everything that happens to school doesn't end in school, it follows you back home. Oh my god. But anyway, that was life. Continue subscribing and liking for more stories, and if this story was not interesting or was interesting, let me know in the comments. Bye.